I think that they're probably good for game 2 as well. When are we going to say Sinister? Like, is this all you've got, though?
I'm not going to ever say that. That is something you're going to say, and I'm going to leave that discretion up to you. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the map, Vito, because this is where we can start to tell more of our story, and you can maybe say you're saying, I'm never going to ever repeat that again. Villa and Coastline, really? 2 of them tonight? Man, we're backing up. We're backing up.
Coastline will be good, though. I reckon Sinister's got a better shot on Coastline just in terms of play style. That said, let's take a look at their stats. Coastline, that's not great. I've got a 0% win rate across 37 games. So they've played it 6 times and they have lost it 5 times, drawn it once. That draw was to wildcard last season, but that was ages ago. So that's not a great record for Sinister.
Yeah.
As for Mindfreak, got 43% win rate, 3 wins, 4 losses. Let's have a look at see if we can get some examples of some of these games. Most recent time for TBD was a loss to Homeless 6-8. In the 6 Invitational Qualifiers close game. They also lost it in a close game to Fnatic last season, 5-7. So that's both of those pretty good. It shows that even if they're not winning, they've got some substance on those maps. Most recently, though, Sinister played this in Week 1 of Pro League against Onyxia and lost 4-7. So yeah, I'm going to go with TBD.
Yeah, you're going to go with TBD?
I'm going to go with TBD.
Let's have a look what you guys thought at home. I never give my predictions because I never like to be right or wrong. It's still favouring toward...
You like to be right, you just don't have confidence that you will.
Yeah, right. I just... Man, what kind of crap is that? Huh? You bring it out here? Yeah. All right. Bus.
I've thrown you under the bus so many times today. And
That's right. You threw yourself under the bus.
I did.
You threw me under the bus.
To be fair, I threw myself under the bus harder than I've thrown you under the bus.
That is very true. I don't think you can throw me harder. Like that's just the fact. So, all right, Sinister, TBD. We both think TBD are out for the taking. However, I haven't explicitly said it because I won't, because I enjoy just being,
and
the
you want to stay friends
ground
with the Sinister guys too.
Yeah, right. Like I just want to stay friends with everyone. Why can't we be friends?
Draws on the cards. I'd be hard pressed to see TBD not win this. That said, like Sinister, their play style I think works on this small map. Because in Villa they weren't dedicated to taking map control much of the time.
Yep.
In Coastline, you don't have to like drone and enter you have to, yeah, but not like Villa.
Yep. It's
not about taking large portions of the map. It's really just about there's a giant egg that is Coastline. Crack it.
Yeah, and look, to be honest, are we going to see basically a mirror image from what we saw with Onyxian and Homeless? Is Villa going to be TBD's map? Is Sinister going to be Coastline's map? Who does this favor right now? We're saying we are definitely leaning toward TBD. However, who knows, man? I mean, Sinister, they have had some pretty close results. Again, reiterating the Onyxian result, 5-7 on Cafe, 4-7 on Coastline. 2 close matches, unfortunately not getting across the line. I can see them converting this, but it does come down to the very end. It is coming down to realistically just capitalizing on your advantages, and that is something that Sinister, I feel like even if you cast your mind back to 6 Masters, were having issues with as well, and that's something that they outwardly spoke about.
Yeah, definitely. Now, having a look at the map, so rather the operator bans for the map, TBD getting rid of the Buck is something that teams should be expecting when they come up against TBD. Buck is not a very highly banned operator in general, but interestingly enough, they're tied second most banned operator after Jackal. 14% of the maps that I've got in my tracker are TBD banning Buck, which is a lot. And so vertical play is going to be more difficult, and similar to what we saw last map. And earlier tonight, actually, the game with Onyxian, there was a lot of Buck being used for vertical play, and it wasn't hugely effective because of the way that we saw Homeless deal with that. But it's look, it's not going to be present here, so these teams are going to have to get a bit more creative with how they displace players, since they don't have vertical play to force defenders to move, and they don't have the firebots from Capitao to force defenders to move. They're going to have to get creative.
Get creative, get moving, a hoovin' and a boovin'. It will be the defensive side for Sinister to begin with. They're going to head toward Sunrise and Blue Bar. We will see the Lion being 6-picked out for the Dokkaebi, so Echo's still on the board as well. I really just want to see like how impactful Dokkaebi can be, especially when it gets to those later parts of the round where Echo can play quite a huge part. You know, he does play a massive role in denying that diffuser. And I'd really like to see how intricate we can get with this Dokkaebi play.
Yeah, we didn't really see it effective from Onyxian when they played against Homeless. There was part of it was trying to clear roamers, part of it was trying to deny that yokai and the information when going for the plant. But Homeless found a way to deny that plant even without the yokai. I think it was Strider playing the Echo, peeking through right the center of your screen right now. That hallway right outside kitchen, peeked from there all the way onto the B bomb. The couch is next to the B bomb on the right of your screen. A really long angle, well held, denied the plant even without the use of those yokais. So we'll see whether Sinister's picked up with that little trick and whether they well, I guess it's up to both of these teams, mainly up to TBD. They're the attack. They have the onus on them to make this push, to get this round rolling, and we'll see what they've got for us.
Already with the line being opened up directly through to the bar. Can start to press further in. There's one player actually just close on that corner, so when they do decide, they'll need to actually completely drain that out.
A lot of presence in the bomb site itself. I've seen a couple teams overseas try to hard hold inside of the west side of Sunrise really aggressively, where you typically wouldn't see players play, but it looks like Sinister aren't going to do that. They get out into arguably more safer positions. No, actually, there's still a player. No, he's moved to the bar now. It's safe.
There was also quite a heavy emphasis across toward Hookah, and I believe that's been squandered a little bit. No, there's still one just hanging around just on the other side of the bar. They just need to be careful. Joker should be able to capitalize on this. Oh, some pre-fired shots coming through. It's not going to make any kind of difference, but Mangos has gone down as well. Not down and out for the count just yet, but definitely need to be recovered. Jack Daddy coming through clutch, brings the teammate up, and the man advantage sticks for TBD.
And there's still one player upstairs at the cocktail bar. It's Milo. He's going to try to get back out. Oh, he almost gets caught off and eventually falls under the crossfire. TBD up 2 players now. Sinister still had that aggressive position from Fisher, looking through the floor. A few wild shots, and he takes so much damage, gets back into that aggressive position on the B bomb. This hasn't been hugely successful when we've seen it in the past from other teams. Teams like G2 have tried this to little success. Fisher guy's going to give it a shot, but he's so low on HP as well.
All 3 players on site. Leader obviously separated, but here comes the attack.
Wow.
30 seconds left, rather 40 seconds left. Cutie manages to catch out Fisher guy. Fortunately enough, Vinny's there to trade out at the very least. The vertical play, nicely done. Luna as well sees the long line, but cannot fight it for too much longer. And Dev, it looks like it should be all TBD from here. Vinny still has something to say though.
Can deny that plant for now, but actually he missed the denial. Now it's a retake scenario, 1 versus 3. Got a bit of information. Oh, that's a really nice pre-fire. Ibistar gets off Yango, wide peeks it now, and well, I guess he's not expecting that. Ibistar can finish that one off with the pistol nicely.
I love that from Ibistar, just repositioning, swinging wide across to more safer hands, and the bars, had he made it across, he would have been completely fine. 3 versus 1 is never going to be an easy task, especially when they're all off site. So the Dokkaebi was still up. I'm not sure what effect it had, to be honest. To be honest, it all happened so quickly. I blinked and Echo missed. Was it? Did Echo miss or was it the Dokkaebi that had? I'm
not sure whether she missed. Sorry, whether he missed the Echo onto the planter or whether he echoed the wrong person. I wasn't watching closely enough at the time.
I mean, I don't think that would have had the biggest effect. Obviously, there are still 3 attackers alive, so that's not going to win or lose you the round when there's still 20 seconds left to get that diffuser down. But anyway, we can move on from that one.
Well, the thing that makes me a bit concerned here for Sinister is that Bars was the best bomb site in terms of win rate in the previous matchup for
Bomb located by attackers.
for the defense. When we had a Nixian and Homeless playing it, Bars was only won by the attack once, and that was on match point by Homeless. And before that, it was the best bomb site that any defensive team had. So Sinister, if they can't win on Bars, they better hope that their hookah defenses and their kitchen defenses are up to scruff. Because if not, I think TBD is going to walk away with this map as convincing, if not more convincing than they did on Villa. And what? Oh man, I think that was an accidental detonation of the Goyo shield by Fisher, who was just trying to open some holes to shoot through. That feels bad.
Yeah, slightly unlucky on that front. So there is a huge question mark around Sinister in their Pro League season right now, as they are coming out the back end of the first half with nothing but a draw to show for it. And it's not really enough. This could potentially see them in the bottom two by the time we do get toward the end of the second half. However, again, we are still a fair bit between then and now. But this map would be so vital just to be able to take away 3 points from TBD and perch yourself at least out of that 8th place. Mighty important right now.
As for TBD, this attack is somewhat of a roam clear going downstairs. They banned out the buck, but they're keen to go for vertical play even without it. Jack did, I think, spotted a player on the camera and tried to pre-fire through the floor, but just missed. You can see all this presence downstairs. It's very typical for a hookah attack, but usually you'd have the buck in play. You could open up the floor. It's going to be much more difficult for TBD. They have the Jackal shotgun and also Sledge's grenades, and Dokubi's grenades, potentially. But I don't know if they'll open up those holes. Vinny takes out that drone, denying some information, but Joker still knows about that one position. And also a call out tells him about Luna's position, aggressive inside of pool table as well.
He's getting pinged, and that will allow Joker to be able to take Luna down. And not only that, Cutie's been able to capitalize on Fisho Guy trying to go for some information, a bit of a play there. The ADS system will unfortunately squander the chances of Cutie taking out at least one more, and oh, it's starting to fall apart here. Milo adds Joker to the tally. However, they are starting to take more control of Aquarium in toward. Oh, that is just a deep push. There's been no support. There's no trade potential. Mangoes, with still a minute left on the clock, has gone for gold, and it has turned horribly for TBD.
Vinny really stepped up that round. It wasn't all on him, but Sinister clawed their way back in after losing the first 2 engagements. I guess you could partly put it on, as you were saying, during the round, TBD getting a little bit over-aggressive there, trying to push Vinny off that position in Cocktail without that support, without the preparation to refrag, just not ready, not timed. Nippy Star was late to getting to hookah, and so he was... his teammates didn't give him enough time to get into that position if he wanted to synchronize that push with his teammates. Sinister do get that defense there. Now, it was only convincing at the end once TBD enacted those mistakes, but it's a good sign for Sinister. They'll move on to Kitchen for the next defense. He's going to 6-pick onto the Echo. He's been really good this game so far. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that Sinister, with Vinny, I think Vinny has been one of the star players for Sinister since he joined that team.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
I'd second that. I would definitely second that, and you're seeing it in this match in particular. Obviously, you know, it's easy. It's always easy to point out when someone's performing well, right? It is hard when you are losing to still have an impactful performance where it captures the eyes of the viewer. And I really want to reiterate this, especially in a game like Rainbow Six, where it is so intricate and there are so many positions, so many roles that you play throughout the game that don't rely on frag or the heavy play, right? And I think that Vinny does a very good job of still being able to just have an impact in every round.
Yeah, definitely. He's playing a supportive role with the Echo, but he's also holding his own in gunfights, and if players are pushing him, he'll take 1v1s and win them as well. Now we'll see TBD, onus on them. Few mistakes on their last attack. Let's see if they can do better here for Kitchen. Very early moments, and Mangoes finds a grenade. Luna, what happened? Was that just in Sunrise behind the bar? Great job from Mangoes to find that one. Luna on the flip side, second round in a row, she's been the first to fall.
Oh, I don't know whether they've seen that player over toward blue stairs then. Mangos was halfway through being able to call that out. Don't know whether they stuck around much longer. It looks like they might have backed away completely. Nico as well just needs to be a little bit more cautious. Enough support around them, but Vinny, speak of the devil, shall appear. Does trade out. Is the Dokubi down?
Milo though, undroned. Joker was looking for him, but Milo's still wreaking havoc up in games. Cutie's here watching the rotation out, and he might catch him off guard. Ippy Star watching the same rotation, and now no one is pushing Milo out. Ippy Star's going to try to make that move, but Milo, such a high damage weapon here. He's likely to win the gunfight, and he does, and now contesting the roof as well. How is he allowed to rotate? Cutie was meant to be watching that. Cutie only lands a single bullet before Milo gets out of dodge, and now 2 versus 4. It's a big ask for Jack and Cutie here. It's a kitchen attack, mind you, and none of this action's gone down anywhere near the bomb site.
2 rounds in a row now that TBD have been caught out. Just making some poor calls or decisions or unfortunate timings even, if you will.
I mean, I don't know whether they just never droned Milo in Cocktail, but he just got 2 kills. Should never have been allowed to happen, and now he's managed to rotate out as well.
Just sit in toward the hallway now, just on 90. Jack Daddy now starting to make somewhat more of a precise decision. They still have to be careful. They just spotted out the yokai towards Sunrise. But this looks so locked down from Sinister right now. It feels like they have their T's crossed here, Dev.
The Yoko does get taken out, but I think Vinny managed to concuss Jack before it went out. She'll just waste even more time from Jack. Vinny's also got a really good angle all the way from the lobby. Nico spots Jack on an entry, and Jack now is inside kitchen, but it doesn't matter because Fisho's there to hold it down. Cutie's there too, but it's got a lot of players to contest with, and he can't even get past the first one on site. Fisho guy doing his job. Another good defense for Sinister.
2 rounds, I
really feel like I feel like that the reason Sinister got an opportunity there was because TBD gave it to him.
Yep, and that was exactly, I honestly think it was the same on that hookah defense as well. Mango's overextended with the diffuser as well, with no support, and it just felt so scattered. And right there, you saw the exact same play. This time it was with Milo picking one off and allowed to get away as well. That was that was such a hindrance to the rest of that round for TBD. But we will go back toward the bars. This is where TBD had their most success. May it repeat.
Yeah, that's right. Sinister really don't have much choice about the next bomb site. It's either bar or penthouse, and penthouse isn't on meta for a lot of teams. We talked in the last matchup to Stiggs, and he mentioned that they'd researched Anixian's penthouse strategy and countered it very effectively. Anixian weren't able to win that penthouse defense. So Sinister had the choice between that or bars, where they lost pretty convincingly already to TBD. They'll go bar. See if they can have a bit of a better performance.
10 seconds left.
TBD got control of top floor pretty nicely last round. Sinister had 2 people up there. It was Milo and who was playing? It was Nico on the dock last time. It looks like Nico's flexed over onto the Mozzie instead. So he won't be quite as proficient in the long range engagements, no ACOG, but the Commando is still a really good gun in long range. And he's gonna have to, well, he's gonna have the shotgun in his arsenal as well for rotations, but I think the big telling thing for this round, if Nico's switched onto that for a reason, it's to deny those drones. Trying to hold out a little bit longer upstairs. If he's playing up there, he does eventually rotate. Luna's extended the hold into kitchen as well with some rotations, sorry, some reinforcements to help. And it looks like it is that map control take that we've seen from TBD once again, getting control of the top floor, starting penthouse where the point of least resistance is.
Oh.
And Milo, instead of hard holding Cocktail, he's going to play a much more free roam.
That could be quite dangerous as well for TBD. Now they've got to worry about where Milo is, and still yet Milo can just make it back toward the site and just continue to be a waste of time, if you will. Just being extremely cautious as they do cross around. Comes Sledge with his own renovations, and Fisher Guy didn't have the greatest impact in that previous round, or rather it was just the smoke that didn't have the greatest impact that we were hoping for.
He is in that very difficult position, aggressive in Sunrise. He can't be flushed out from above, but he can be grenaded, and there's 2 sets of nades, and Mangoes and Cutie.
That can be a problem as well. Now that they've lost that top floor control with those nades, they could seriously do some damage, and you're going to see it there. It's the ADSs, though, that are going to save the life for now. The smoke's going to continue to hold them at bay as they persist to try and push him out of that position. In comes the Kobe. Will this hit this time? Looks like it'll at least destroy the shield. It allows Mangos to swing wide. Fisher Guy completely exposed in that position with no support whatsoever. Will well and truly fall.
Perfect execution between Cutie and Mangoes there. That position now destroyed, and Luna's still here at the pot plant. But TBD are preparing to force this plant down. And the Echo's dead, and so's Milo now too. That plant's starting to go down. Nico has a C4. It's a very difficult position to be in to deny this plant. Mangoes locks that down. Nico a blind C4, just trying to base it off game sense, but it's very late now for him. 1 versus 5, and it looks like TBD can fairly comfortably replicate their bars attack to perfection.
That's it. A flawless round doesn't get much better than that for TBD. Felt like we didn't even see anything from Sinister then, just running around the map trying to roam.
Yeah. And, every time they tried to hold on to something hard like Fisher, TBD just droned it out, picked it apart. Even Vinny dying early, I think, is a bit of a problem because we've seen him, we talked about how much of an impact he's been having, and also the fact that he's got the most important Plantinol utility with those Yokais.
Yep. Interesting that the Dokkaebi is being brought every round, I want to say now.
Yeah, well, the thing with Dokkaebi is even if you're not going to use her to hack cameras, even you can call. And even if you're not going to use her to call, you can use frag grenades.
Yep.
And the frag grenades, we've seen how powerful they are. Mangoes has gotten a kill with one already. Last round, Mangoes and Cutie worked together on the back of a frag grenade to ensure that Fisher Guy was killed. But now Sinister,
versatile, right?
Yeah, that's one of the great things about Dokkaebi as an operator. She's a very versatile kit. If anything, I think people don't play her as often because she doesn't have an automatic primary weapon. She's got to choose between either the Boss G or the DMR that she's got, Mark 14.
What's wrong with the Boss G, mate?
I love the Boss G.
I love it so much.
Casting Red Sun against Fnatic, Xavier v Fnatic, that was so good, man. Red Sun inspired me to run the Boss G.
That was far too enjoyable watching that. It was so satisfying. Every kill was just super satisfying.
Yeah. But I mean, a lot of people just prefer having an automatic primary, and I guess that's one of the reasons why Dokkaebi doesn't get played as much. But at least for Sinister now, they're going to be playing on a bomb site that they've had success on previously, Hookah. They were pretty happy defending Hookah, just like Kitchen. So TBD, it's really up to them now. They've just ticked the box of, can we win bars consistently? Yes, okay. But can we win some of the other bomb sites? Because if not, they're going to be looking at a 4-2 half against them, and they'll really have to show up on their defenses.
That's crazy how close it may have been already. It could just completely swing.
Yeah, I mean, it could. If Sinister can replicate the success on Kitchen and Hookah, then they'll go into the second half with a clear advantage. But TBD, all they have to do is tighten up a few things.
Yep.
Don't miss-drone Milo. Don't just let Milo sit somewhere and flank and kill multiple players. Yeah, that's the first logic bomb to go out as well.
And so there's 2 points to be made there. One, TBD have to tighten their ship, but 2, it also took TBD to give the round to Sinister for them to be able to take it. And right now, that's where it differs. TBD are taking their own rounds, and whether they win or lose, it's on to them right now. It feels like Sinister are definitely caught in the crossfire of TBD with themselves. It's almost the push and pull.
Yeah, that's right. TBD are still figuring out how they'd like to take this, because Sinister have a lot of roamers. Previously, We saw TBD on this attack get the first 2 picks. Jack Dad's trying to look for these yokai drones among other utility, particularly ADSs. He can destroy any ADSs, and we've got 4 grenades. Mangoes for 2, Cutie for 2. There's the first one. Second logic bomb goes out to pressure the roamers and the anchors. Still have Milo and Nico downstairs, and with Nico having a C4, he can deny plant on bomb site really nicely. He's taken out by Jack Dad.
Oh.
And a second one for Jack. Too good for TBD, and the plant starting to be forced down. This looks like it could be the end of the road.
Attackers have located
It
a bomb.
is. It is the end of the line.
Diffuser has
However,
been dropped.
Luna not interested in letting that really come true, but
Wow.
that very quickly just stopped in its tracks. I'm like, here we go. No,
Oh,
nothing. How about that?
I mean, the only thing that Sinister had to show was the fact that Luna denied that plant. And I've got to credit Jack Dad downstairs, and there were really 2 halves to this. There was Jack Dad downstairs to take out those 2 players, potentially threatening a potential plant denial. And there was also the rest, literally every other player from TBD who did the work upstairs.
Yep.
And there was 2 halves to that. One was Jack Daddy to make sure they can't deny plant from below. And all these guys upstairs as well did their job perfectly. We didn't see it to like really well, but it was kind of like time was passing, and then Mangoes was planting.
Yep.
And the fact that he was in a position to do that showed that TBD did their groundwork really well.
And one thing that people might have not noticed in the background between that Milo and Nico situation, and might be confused as to how Jack Daddy had such free reign. Cutie was also coming in from behind, and it felt like Milo was aware of that because of how wide he had to swing on that second attempt. Right after he reloaded, it was almost like he knew he had to take that engagement and couldn't try to buy time and maybe push Jack Daddy off the line. So just, again, very small things that can change decisions and put a lot more pressure back onto that defensive side where, you know,
And it's really good for TBD, the fact that they can have 2 players pinch downstairs to clear those roamers threatening the plant and push on site and establish a position to plant. The fact that they can do those 2 simultaneously is very impressive, because not only do you have less people up to do each of those objectives, you're trying to do 2 objectives at one time, but also on top of that, you're in a Discord call all together, and if you have 3 people trying to communicate on one thing and 2 people trying to comm on another thing, it gets really messy.
And it's very, you know, this is what we spoke about, being able to do that on Villa, and how that could be so impactful on that northern side of the building when it's over at AVG, say.
Yeah.
You know, there being able to multitask as a team. You know, like it's different to multitask as an individual to doing it as a team. Like you're saying, a 2-3 split is very very chaotic. And right now, Sinister are not really interested in playing too far on site. Fisher guy just opening up those floorings underneath him so he can have that free passage in toward the penthouse window.
And it's a desperate moment for Sinister now as they go to kitchen as well. Bars didn't end up working in the end. Hookah didn't end up working in the end. And Jack Dad, he's been so good with that G8. He finds that first kill. Nico for the trade. Fisho going down though. He was the real key element for Sinister last time they defended this bomb site, holding on in an anchor position. Oh, great shot for Nico. That's his second on the round. Oh, can he go for 3? No, he misses. He goes for the knife because he's all out of bullets, and Cutie says, "What was that?"
That's just so confusing.
W-G. Okay. I don't know what that means.
No, I feel like that was definitely meant to be a different W something. Very, very confusing at that point, but that's all right. Moving forward now, it's a 2 versus 2. Sinister actually surprisingly come out not too far in the deficit of this one. I thought after those openings, TBD were going to run away with this, but once more they've given themselves a chance. Vinny's going to be able to realign that no-kite. Will they decide to stick this now? Just have
located by
a passive watch.
Can Vinny deny the plant? He does once. There's still information on the plant though, but the yokai got taken out. Is he going to try to rotate through lobby? Ippy style covers for 1. Can he deny the plant? No, the plant goes down. Vinny gets the kill, but it's too late. Ippy Style to hold in the post plant. He's low on HP. Vinny's been such a good player. We've been talking about him, but man, Ippy Style has such a strong position. Vinny's got a yokai, but it's too far away to be useful. Can Vinny make this work? Does he know about the position? Ippy Style playing so patiently. He's worried about the lobby side. Can't defuse it through the wall. Can't manage to get the angle. Vinny has no clue where Ippy Style is, and the shots are just going to tell Ippy Style exactly what's happening. Jack Dad's going to claim that one with the Claymore, though, anyway.
Cheeky. Very cheeky in the end. And a fitting way for that to finish, but TBD finish out 4-2 in that first half.
And I was talking how it was all likely that Sinister could finish at 4-2 if they could replicate the success of Kitchen and Hookah, but man, that just was not going to happen. Once TBD got that kill here, once Vinny was unable to deny the plant, man, that was half a second.
Yeah.
Half a second off.
Yeah.
And if Vinny had gotten that kill before the plant went down, I think he would have won that round.
So do I. I don't think that was really all that doable to come back into it. A Finca, a Gridlock, and a Lion walk into a bar.
And a Finca? A Gridlock Lion and a Finca walk into a bar.
What happens?
I don't know. You tell us, chat. Finish the joke.
I'm really upset that there wasn't Blue and Sunrise then, otherwise that would have been the perfect way
yeah,
to set
you're
that
right.
up.
You're right.
That's all right. We are going to be attempting Hookah here for TBD. And the main, I think one of the biggest takeaways from my side here is how much in control TBD have been in this entire match.
Yeah, too true. I mean, the 2 rounds that they lost, we pinned on them. Yep. We said, you didn't clear the roamers very well, you didn't locate the positions, you got punished for your mistakes. But the rounds they've won have also been on them. And they have been in control in that way, control of their own destinies. They just have to tighten their ship, and they did that in the second half of their attacking rounds. They tightened up the ship, and they didn't make any more mistakes.
Now, this is a big question mark for us, or more so for you, Dev. Where do we start asking questions?
About Sinister, or about TBD, about
Sinister.
Sinister, that is, yeah. Look, I've been saying this again. I think the roster changes added 2 really strong players to the roster in Milo and Vinny. And man, I don't know why we're not seeing an improvement at a macro level for this team. And it's frustrating because this isn't something that's just one season. This has been happening for such a long time. Sinister has barely escaped relegation time after time. Been a staple in the Pro League for a long time now, but haven't been on an upward trajectory at all.
Comes that E1D. No real movement off the back of it either, but...
What?
Hang on, wait.
Is that Finca shotgun? Nico! Nico! What?
A bomb has been located.
What? So this is in place of a Buck. He's playing Finca shotgun. Instead, Buck's banned, guys. I'm going to play Finca with a shotgun to open up the floor and kill people through it. Yeah, that's cool. And now I'm going to go to on the roof and do what Buck does with his grenades. No, he's going to make an entry somewhere else. He's got a shotgun with the Valentine's Day skin.
I'm reloading!
All right.
That's a Merry Christmas, you filthy animal kind of moment there. This could be a very interesting way to conclude this round, that's for sure.
He's cutting off the rotation between sites. Oh, he's going to go up with Milo maybe? Up the blue stairs. That'd be a good spot for a Finca. He spots one player. Whips out the shotty. Is he good for another? He's got the suppressor of all things on the sausage. Fisher guy's good for one. A grenade comes over. That'll dislocate that position. And TBD's just one man left.
God.
What is this strategy for Sinister? Plant going down. Come on, Nico. I want you to get this last one, but no. Nico actually injured Mangoes, though, with the grenade. Oh, my God.
I have never seen someone more excited about anything before, Dev. That was like a little kid in a candy store watching you then. That's
because he was using the Finca shotgun.
Wait, was he using the Finca shotgun?
Yeah, dude, he was using the Finca shotgun. What was that?
Oh, don't give me the giggles again. It won't stop.
No, I know it won't.
Well, they're gonna back it up as well.
Surely not.
Imagine a world in which they just bring this back and TBD just cannot deal with it.
What is that? It's funny because this is like the operator ban that TBD's been doing for a while now. It's an unusual operator ban. Get rid of the buck. A couple other teams have been doing it on this map in particular recently, but this has been a staple for TBD for a really long time. So they're not used to playing against that kind of vertical play until Nico brings out the shotgun on Finca. Anyhow, TBD's going to rotate the bomb sites now. Not going to give Hookah another shot if it's going to be a struggle. So they'll go kitchen. They're in a distinct advantage coming into the second half because of that 4-2 scoreline, but it's closing the gap real quick thanks to Sinister. In the exact same operator lineup for this round.
So, is this something that Sinister can really throw at TBD here? Is this going to continue to be a nuisance, a problem for them? Like
the reason why you don't see shotguns on attack often is because you have no capability in long-range gunfights, and on this particular bomb site, you need capability in long-range gunfights.
No, you don't. Not if you're Nico.
Not if you're Nico.
If you're Nico, you just don't give a damn.
This is if there's any player who's gonna do this, it's Nico.
Yeah, right. Like if there's one player who's just gonna go wild with some crazy strat, it is 100% Nico every time.
Man. And he's gonna do it while rocking the Valentine's Day skin, as he does on pretty much every single gun.
Just a bit of salt in the wound, just to add it. Maybe a little bit of lemon as well. That doesn't tickle.
Nice rotate hole using the sausage.
Stop saying sausage, Deb.
It's a sausage. Pretty far in the angle with the PMM, but Ippy Style finds the first kill and another one, kicking it off. That lion charge goes off, and it's just a call to action for TBD to spring into it.
At least Luna finds Jack Daddy. Oh, no. Nico with the pistol.
Come on!
Not another. Surely not. My word. Catches the backside and just tickles the foot of Cutie as they make it away. What are we witnessing right now?
He's got the SASG shotgun and the PMM, which is a hand cannon. All right, then. Let's open up the floor. Come on, do your job, Buck. There you go. Thanks, Nico. And what's best is he's opening up the floor suppressed, so you can't hear him opening up the floor. A grenade's gonna go down.
God,
Say goodnight,
what?
Joker. 2 kills in 2 rounds for Nico with Finca. The 2-on-2 now, and Lions out of the game thanks to Mangoes. Just Luna and Nico left, but there's only 2 players to find. Come on, Nico. Making an entry with the PM. Rotate hole thanks to the SASG. Pick up that diffuser as well. Is there a flank potential though for Cutie? Cutie takes out Luna. Nico's going to go for the plan again. This needs to be a clutch from the Finca player. Information on Cutie. He's going to wide peek this. Nico gets out of dodge, but no, he gets taken out, and Cutie clutches the rounds. And I couldn't be more heartbroken at that.
Oh, this is... My joy in tonight is watching you and your excitement for Nico on the Finca with the SASG. I will never call it that word, though.
It's called a sausage.
The SASG.
That's what everyone calls that gun.
Sausage! Well, I'll tell you what. Nico is having an absolute...
He's having a ball right now.
He really is.
I think he doesn't realize whether he's loaded up a casual or loaded up Pro League.
So
but it doesn't matter either way.
And still, they're just going to stick with it. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You've won one, and you nearly won the second in a 1v2. I mean, that's just... it is a phenomenal storyline that we're following right now. The Dokkaebi will be swapped out for the Gridlock. So, as we approach on in now, only 2 rounds in it for TBD. And I feel like this game just turned super memey.
It did. Like, what? What are you doing, Sinister? Surely Fisher's got the Boss G as well. I want to see some Boss G and some Finca Sass G. All the Gs, homie.
All of them. Every G possible.
That's it.
Including you, because you're an OG.
Oh, thanks, homie G. So, Hookah was a failure last time from TBD.
Yep.
So they'll retry it. I think they've said, okay, let's just do things properly. Come on, let's do things properly. We know that they're gonna try and grenade us. They're bringing a lot of grenades. We know that they're gonna try and open the floor. You know, honestly, what I think TBD can do to counter this Finca shotgun, and I'm not joking here, like to counter this, the way you do it is you just take fights to her in long range. Take mid to long range fights because she doesn't have a very good gun. You're probably gonna win that fight. Because if you just let her open the floor, that's kind of going to be tough because she's going to open it. You're probably not going to hear it that well.
But let's be honest, Nico won with a pistol.
He did. Man, imagine if he won that clutch as well. We'd be 4-4 right now, thanks to Nico, a 3K with Finca without running a rifle or an automatic weapon at all.
It would be comical. It literally would be. Like, you couldn't write a better script than that. And look, it might still happen. That's the thing right now is they're actually running with a lot of momentum and they're probably just enjoying themselves at this point.
You know, I just respect the rest of Nico's team right now because there would have been a point in this call where Nico's like, all right, guys, can I please run Finca shotgun? And I know if I'm playing, all my teammates are going to be like, nah, don't do that. But Sinister says, nah, we got confidence in you, Nico. Go ham.
Yeah. Do what you do best, Nico, and surprise people. Give them something to remember. So, in comes a bit more for Sinister as they make their way up blue stairs. There's 2 players they need to deal with right now. And actually a third watching that line in Mangoes. There's 3 players holding down the line for blue stairs. As Sinister start to approach a little bit more toward the hookah balcony as well. Did I just see TBD, one of the players, run out on VIP? I don't know whether that was just my eyes.
I think you're right. Cutie's here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just saw Cutie swing onto Nico then, so fortunate that Nico doesn't lose their life there.
Nico's still below, trying to flush out these positions, and then no doubt Sinister will try and force a plant down in hookah. They're 1 man down, thanks to an early pick from Mangoes, and there's 1 minute left. Man, I didn't realize how good that shotty is. And Ippy style, that was nasty. What an insane shot. Takes out Vinny. Loska hitting a brick wall here thanks to the smoke grenades, a Joker. TBD look really poised to take this one. Oh my
dude,
God!
I am telling you, Nico is from another planet.
What was that?
That looked like long range as well, Dev.
What
is Nico doing right? This has just turned onto another level from this side of things.
I really hope Nico's into the interview. Joker's good for another. Luna's down too. Nico, show us what you got, man.
15 seconds to go.
No, not much.
Disappointing, Nico. Disappointing. Joker, I think, actually came out with a 2 or 3 piece there with a shotgun on blue stairs. Just so impactful with that smoke babes as well.
Yeah, they just kept feeding him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard to push up blue stairs. It's almost a death wish. That's why you end up using grenades and other utility to dislodge that position. But no, come on, there's a point where reality has to hit home, and we're on match point once again for TBD. 7-3 was the score of map number 1. It looks like we might see the same here on Coastline.
Would be heartbreaking for Sinister's point of view, coming out at the first half of Pro League season with only 1 point.
Oh yeah.
And it's a knocking.
Yeah.
It is a knocking.
They don't have as tough games to go through. I think they'll be challenged by Fury, Kanga, and Homeless, who are their next 3 games, but you know, they've got Fnatic and Ixion wildcard. That's all done and dusted. Don't have to worry about that anymore. TBD is probably the next biggest team to worry about. I think probably that or Homeless.
Yep.
But still, Fury and Kanga have proved that they're no pushovers either. So this is going to be a very tough season. Very difficult to ride out for Sinister. But at least they're having fun.
Exactly.
At least they're having fun, especially Nico. He's having a lot of fun.
But then, like, you know, you look at the other side of things for TBD, and they've had a pretty good start to the season, only dropping 2 maps right now. You know, they're sitting on, what, this will be their 6th win out of 8 games, so...
Yeah.
However, yes...
Well, they've only dropped
I
the games of Fury and Homeless, so that's pretty good.
I acknowledge that TBD still have Fnatic, Wildcard, and Anixian to play. However, still finishing the first half of the season 6-8, you wouldn't be too upset about that at all. So this is a good start from them, and it just looks like it's going to repeat in this round. I think Nico's still...
He's still doing it. He's just not going to stop.
He has fully committed. I wonder whether it was a, hey guys, can I jump on Finca and use the sausage? Or was it more like a, all right, I'm doing this.
Yeah,
we're going to play like this.
Yeah, well, they've dropped the Lion, and I think that's a good move because the Lion wasn't working so well. In fact, we've had a couple of players, you know, change around their operators. Vinny's the one playing Dokkaebi now. Fisher's got this IQ, which I think is super important because you've got Valcams and Echo drones TBD are using to find these players. The Finca is opening the floor. Grenade from Vinny. Not sure if that was just a pre-nade or whether there was actually barbed wire there or something to get rid of. This is the Bar's defense, and Cutie is playing very aggressive. In fact, 2 players very aggressive inside of Sunrise.
I find it intriguing to see the different ways that teams decide to play. Obviously, this is the second time we've seen a smoke deep in the corner, whereas we saw in the previous Nixon.
Oh!
Surely not. Surely not. No. That's not funny. No, that would not be funny at all. He's still going to this. What? Hello?
Well, I don't know how much damage it puts out, but he is clearing these areas. Taking the narrow angle with the pistol. That's quite a strong pistol, actually. It does a lot of damage. Oh, is he going to hear this player underneath him? He does switch it to the sauce team, and he gets taken out.
So fitting. And oh, how the crown crumbles. Sinister are falling like flies. 3 players left to deal with the 5 on TBD with a stronger looking hold. However, Vinny with the Kobe over the top of the shield. Jack Daddy's still perched in on the site just to try and anchor down a little bit further. And he's got his work cut out for him, as well as Fisho guy, who's still trying to make an approach from the upper side. And oh, Jack Daddy finally secures that one. It is not looking good for Sinister.
Still a Yokai drone on site on B. That's going to call out that position. Fisho comes up behind, takes out Jack Dad. He's the last one left. 1 on 3. Here's the shots from It Be Style. He can find that kill as well, but he doesn't have the diffuser, and, well, Mangoes can just deny this. Even though with the Yokai drone, and that's just it. Left, right, good night. TBD take the victory. 2 maps, 7-3 against Sinister.
Fitting from TBD's side. It felt like they were always in control. Apart from that first round on defense, that was an interesting one. I'll tell you that much. I don't think I've seen too many play styles like that. So TBD, for the most part, in control of both maps today and have earned their money. They've earned their dubs.
So if we take a look at Nico with 8 kills on Finca and Milo with 5 kills on Ash, I think we can just say that Finca is officially a better fragger than Ash.
Man, I mean, I'm glad we got a bit of entertainment for the last game of the first half of Pro League, but still, what
was that?
What?
It was good.
Yeah, it was entertaining. It was good. To be honest, it showed us something that I don't think many people have really seen before. So there you go. You keep surprising us, Nico.
Just Nico things. Well, I really hope he's the one on the interview. He was on the interview last time we chatted to Sinister. I'm really hoping we get to chat to him tonight. Well, we're lucky here. When we do the ANZ interviews, we get to talk to both teams, not just the winning team, which I love. And especially because these teams are so good-spirited even when they lose.
Yeah. I think the only time I've ever interviewed someone and it was kind of like a little bit somber was actually it was Sinister back with Copper.
Oh, yeah.
And
he's very hard on himself.
Yeah.
When they're losing, Copper's very harsh. Also, there has been some tough ones when Wildcard have been losing their games this season. Silex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he takes
bit
things to
somber.
heart. Yeah.
And it can be like that. I guess it is. Like at the end of the day, it is very competitive,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you do hold yourself to a higher standard, especially when you are looking at teams that should be at least competing a little bit higher at this level. So, regardless, though, I think really good takeaways from TBD.
Definitely. Really exciting for TBD. Now they have a really hard rest of the season coming up, but they got a bit of a break. The Six Invitational is going to happen. These teams are just going to stay home, do their scrims, do some preps, get their dry runs out of the way, and they'll be watching a lot of the VODs from Fnatic and Wildcard as well while they go overseas and play at the Six Invitational. And then when we come back, these guys are going to be ready to get started on the second half.
Well, I think not to allude to this, but I think a really good thing for Anixian and TBD is they've still got Fnatic and Wildcard to play, which means that they're going to have this chance at Six Invitational to watch how they decide to do things.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
I just, obviously doubling down on what you were saying there, for those two teams specifically, the two teams that are competing for second and maybe even first place Anixian is one game away. I think TBD are 3 points away at this, 4 points, 3 points away from Anixian, 4 points away from Fnatic. Like, it's very close.
Yeah, very much so. And hey, look, Wildcard and Fnatic, it's a bit of a benefit. Going to the Six Invitationals can be a huge experience for them, not just the games, but the opportunity for scrims with teams from North America, Europe, Latin America, all who will be at the event. It's going to be a huge learning experience for them, and that just puts the pressure on teams like TBD and Anixian, because they don't get that opportunity, but they're going to have to put the work in to take the fight to those teams regardless. Yeah,
for sure. It's like, I'm really excited to see where that kind of leads to this second half. Like, now that this first half's done and dusted, I think there are some disappointing results that we will be touching on, obviously, when we come back into the second half of the season. But this has set the second half of the season to be extremely competitive for Wildcard.
100% for all of these teams, I think. And one of the big opportunities I think that is afforded to teams like TBD and Anixian is that the trouble that has befallen Wildcard this season, and seeing how Wildcard has struggled with their early matches. They've dropped some games here and there, and I think it's a huge opportunity for teams like TBD and Anixian if they want it, if they're willing to put in the work. Those land spots for the APAC finals are absolutely achievable.
Well, I think TBD are definitely in the running for that, and we've actually got a fully clothed Jack Daddy on the line. I heard a little chuckle there. How you doing, mate? It's good to see you back on. Yeah. Very dominant from you guys tonight. I think I really want to ask you, where do you think Sinister's at right now? Because I feel definitely toward that second map, you guys were in complete control of that game.
Yeah, I think Sinister, hopefully they'll get one of their wins someday soon, just not against us. So that was pretty good matches. At least we pulled a 7-3 on both maps, which is pretty impressive from us. Yeah, I think that's all I've got on there. Oh shit!
We got some technical issues. Can you hear me, Jack? Can you hear me? Sydney to Jack. Yeah. You got us?
Sydney to Jack.
One sec. I'm lagging.
Oh no, he's lagging. He's lagging, guys, and he's just run off.
Bye-bye.
See you, Jack.
Bye, Jack. Goodbye, Jack.
I messaged Jack a while back, just a few weeks ago. I was just asking him for some... that's just the funniest thing.
See, now you've got the giggles. You understand.
What just happened? So I messaged Jack a while back, like a few weeks ago. I was asking for some prep for the season, asking about their roles, the team. And he just messaged me back and he said, please refer to me as Captain Jack. I'm not even making that up. He actually said that. So the captain's just run off. I guess he's gone down at the ship or something.
Right, he's abandoned ship.
Are we gonna get him back, or is that it? And
I'm hearing nothing.
No one ever saw Jack ever again.
I mean, I don't know whether Captain Jack or Shirtless Jack or Fully Clothed Jack. I don't know what to call him anymore.
He's very quickly becoming my favorite person to interview.
Oh yeah, every time. I could hear him. Just the second we came to the camera, then I could hear everything. He is an absolute comedian. I'll give you that.
I wanted to ask him some questions, but I guess I'll have to just do that later and over Discord, and I'll have to make sure that I address him as Captain Jack. Otherwise, he probably won't reply, to be honest.
Captain Jack. All right, let's just talk about the fact that Jack.
All right, you want to talk about TBD?
Jack Daddy. All right. I genuinely think tonight he had a very good performance.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
In all honesty, you know, you look at the impact that he was able to have on TBD, and yes, they were having a very good night in terms of their performance, but definitely you can actually point to Jack Daddy and say that he had multiple
Oh, yeah.
good plays.
Jack Daddy really plays a mean IQ with that LMG, one-time sight. Even just having a real quick, real brief squiz at my stats, Jack Daddy, 1, 2, 3, 4 opening kills and 0 opening deaths. And 3 of those were when they were attacking. Now, we know how important it is to get those opening kills when you're attacking, because it's really just a leg in. Once you have numbers, you have so many more opportunities attacking. And Jack was a really huge part of that, not just on the second map, but also on the first as well.
I got some upsetting news for you.
Oh, no.
Yep. We lost him.
We lost him.
We lost him. It's Captain Jack lost at sea. Went overboard. He literally just got up and ran. He's like, oh wait, my internet's not working.
Give him 20 minutes. He's going to be crashing through the door into the studio. Like, I'm here, boys.
Just one of a kind. One of a
He
kind.
is a unique specimen. I've never interviewed someone quite like Jack.
Look, to be honest, he just gives you all sorts, right? Like every day he's got something different, something new that just makes you have a bit of a giggle. And yet, that again, tying it back, it is really cool to see someone with such a personality still be quite serious when playing.
Yeah,
which I think can sometimes be a bit of a give and take.
That's the thing with TBD. Whenever you interact with them, they're almost always like, you know, it's Jack, right?
Yeah.
And then in the server, it's no nonsense. And that's kind of the contrast here is tonight, we had a bit of nonsense in the server, but that was from Sinister. It was a bit of fun with the Finca.
Yeah.
I think that he believed it was going to help. I'd like to think that. Yes, it was a bit of a meme, but I honestly think that Finca shotgun was actually really good at opening the floor. Buck was banned. Why not? So, yeah, and he got some kills with the PM. So, and the grenades. Grenades are great on Coastline.
Would you like some clarity on that?
Yes, please.
Beautiful. Fisho guy, welcome to the stage.
Hey.
How are you, mate?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. I think the first question that I do want to ask is obviously about the Finca. We spoke about it a couple of times just then. Were there any thoughts about the Finca in that second half with Nico just rocking it and demolishing, or was it just kind of a let's see what happens?
Well, people kind of underestimate the damage that the Finca shotty can put out. And when it comes to like, you know, a really low ceiling in hookah and just, you know, pumping out the semi-automatic action with that shotty, yeah, it's pretty nasty and it's a decent buck replacement. So we just, fuck it, got nades.
Yeah.
Shotty, yeah, just go ham.
Yeah, I love that. And so it's like I was saying, a little bit of a meme, but also very much effective as well. So, yeah, I get that. I know we've talked a little bit about kind of how you guys are tracking through the season so far. It's been a bit tough for you guys getting just the one draw, but it was against wildcards. That's a huge achievement. How do you feel going into the rest of the season? You guys are set up.
We're confident that we can really like put in the work over this month break and, you know, show our true potential in the next half. Yeah, I mean, TBD, they played fantastic tonight. We really struggled to put in the pressure in the mid and late rounds, and they punished us on sight with their executes. It was you know, stuff we can definitely fix, stuff that we will, you know, you'll be seeing it improved upon the next half of PL for sure.
I also did want to just ask quickly also about the roster, because you guys brought on Milo and also Vinny at the start of this season. Now you've had a few months to play with those guys, and you've had the half a Pro League season. How do you guys feel like you're going with your roster?
I mean, the players are all fantastic individual players. You know, we're still working on some of the, you know, fundamentals in terms of like defense timings, rotations, that sort of thing. But you know, it'll just come with time, I think. A bit more practice.
Yeah, for sure. Well, just very quickly before we kind of close out the interview, is there any final words you'd like to say to anyone watching?
Just a big thank you to Priest, who continuously supports our team, and you know, through thick and thin. Glad to have the full support of Team Sinister.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much for that, Fisho guy. Best of luck in the second half of the season.
Thank you.
I love that. Shout out to the owner of his organization, Priest, owner of Sinister. Good lad. Really, really, really nice guy.
I
Really,
think
really
I
good
think
guy.
it does a lot of in the ANZ, like a lot of people don't realize like how tight knit our community is, right? Like I think that orgs play a huge, but not just obviously orgs from in our region, but orgs that come into our region
Yeah.
do play a very big part on actually structuring and supporting our community. And I think that when you get